Welcome to the Earth+Flax studio. Natalie here, and we are back at the Terra Luna Herbals urban farm here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It's been about 3 months since we planted our flax seeds, and we're here to check on those as well as learn a little bit more about harvesting flax and how those seeds can become a mature flax plant that's ready for harvest. And we're back with Elise here at the farm, and we're really excited to have her tell us a little bit more about the stages of the flax plant and about harvest.
Yeah, so it's been about 90 days since you were here last. The flax is pretty much ready to be harvested. I pulled sort of 3 different stages of the flax so you could see the difference between when it's green and still flowering and then when it's dry and sort of ready to be harvested. So this first one, you can see that the stems are still quite green. Some of the pods have turned brown, but you do still have some flowering out. So this is not quite ready for harvesting. Then we've got our second stage, which is definitely further along. It's definitely still got some green, but the seed pods are turning quite golden. This is nearly ready to be harvested. And then we have our final stage, which is what we want today. So it is nearly fully golden. You're looking for these kind of golden seed pods. You can feel that it is a little bit more brittle, but it's still a really strong fiber. So that's what we're going to be harvesting today. You can also see that in these beds there is quite a bit of weeds. We deal with a lot of weeds here at this farm, so we knew that would be a problem for us. But it seems like it's still thriving. It didn't really get in the way of the growth of the flax very much. But that is something we'll be dealing with when we're doing the harvesting.
And tell us a little bit about what to expect in terms of the actual harvest. Are we cutting it? Are we, processing it right away? And walk us through that process.
Yeah, so because we're growing this for fiber, we want the stems to be as long as possible when we're harvesting them. So we're actually going to be pulling it up right from the root. You can see this one actually still has the root attached.
Yeah, look at that.
So rather than cutting it at the base of the soil, we're actually pulling up the entire plant. And for us, we also use this as kind of a cover crop. And so that's great where we can sort of pull up the plants and the bed will be totally naked and ready for the next plant day.
Nice. Excellent. So before we actually get to harvesting, I think it's a really interesting fact to cover that the flax variety generally used for textiles is a taller variety. And the flax used for the production of oil, which will eventually become linseed oil, is a shorter variety. So why don't you speak a little bit about that, because there's some interesting factors that we're seeing here on the farm in Pennsylvania.
So the seed that we received from the PA Flax project, it's called Lenore, and that variety is really meant for fiber growing. So it grows a little bit taller. That's ideal for fiber processing. But what we've noticed on our farm and several other farms in Pennsylvania is this variety is actually growing a little bit shorter than we expected. But it's still appropriate for fiber, so we're still going to harvest it. But it's good to sort of learn the different varieties and how well they do in our area. So it'll be interesting to see how this gets processed, even though it's a little bit shorter than we expected.
Yeah, very interesting. And that's a part of this type of project, right? To kind of gain that experience and then, learn from that in order to see the success needed to bring more flax to the area and see that sort of textile industry become more invigorated and more successful in the future.
So you can see that this stem here is really ready for harvest. It's nice and golden brown. So I'm actually just going to grab it from the base and pull it up right from the root.
That seems pretty easy. Pops right out.
Anybody can do it.
Anyone, even me. All right, this one looks pretty good.
Perfect. Root attached, nice and golden brown.
Shake off the extra dirt. Amazing. Now you might notice that we have a pretty wide range of maturity levels of the flax. Would you speak a little bit about the difference between what we're seeing here today?
Yeah, so as with any crop that we're growing for the first time, we weren't quite sure what to expect in terms of how this would all mature. So we do have a lot of this that's ready and golden and perfectly at the right stage for harvest today, but some of it is just not quite ready yet. So some of this will actually just go into our compost. But we're not too worried about that because we're going to have a lot to harvest to give to the PA Flax project. But we are also just using this crop as a cover crop at our farm. So this bed was full of soil that wasn't very healthy, didn't have a lot of nutrients in it, and flax actually really helps to sort of remediate the soil. So today we're going to be pulling every single piece of this bed out so that this is ready for our next planting. So it's okay that not all of this is ready for the PA Flax project. We are still using it as a cover crop, and it's going to go back to our compost soil. So we're using every bit of this bed, regardless of the maturity level of the flax.
So we're kind of using the flax in a way to prep for the next crop.
Exactly.
Excellent. So we've finished harvesting the flax, and what, Elise, is the next step?
So the next step is called redding. This is actually called dew redding. It's a very simple and easy way to get these fibers really kind of ready to be processed. So essentially what we do is we lay the flax down onto a bed of soil, and contact with that microorganisms in that soil helps to sort of break down the woody core of each of these stems. And the actual usable, valuable part of these stems is the outside. So once those microorganisms help to sort of naturally break these down, it will be in a stage where it's ready to get processed. So we will lay this down onto the soil for about a week and a half, and then we will turn it over so that it's redded on both sides, and then it will be ready to be delivered to the PA Flax project for the next stage.
Elise, thank you so much for having us here at the farm. It was really educational to follow along and see the flax from seed to harvest. It really kind of gives us perspective for our own experience with flax with linseed oil, and we look forward to seeing what you do in the future.
Yeah, thanks so much for coming and helping me plant and harvest.
If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below or email us at info@earthandflax.com.